Hi, I'm Shaun, and welcome to my art show. Yes! Brushing up with Shaun. Let's paint this. All right, so I'm so excited for today's painting event that I've got going on with this right now. We are gonna have like a total different spin on brushing up with Shaun, and we're gonna kick this off here in such a fun way, and we're gonna start off with some basic stuff. So I'm gonna bring in this, somebody that's really close to me. You know, I mean, we share a lot and we've been through a lot, and you know what? We're gonna help teach you how to paint tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in myself to show you how to paint some basic trees tonight. So I hope you have fun with it as much as I am. It's gonna be a great time. Let's kick it away. Shaun, come on up here, buddy. What's up, everybody? I am in the studio and we are gonna learn how to paint some trees tonight. So many times I start off in some of our painting events and you know, we do all this awesome stuff. We get this beautiful painting going, clouds, mountains, all this stuff. And one of the hardest parts that we get to are some trees. So we're gonna have some fun. Shaun, are you ready? Yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch you do this, all right? I want to make sure that you go ahead and bring it all to these people, all right? Because this is a big deal. We're learning some basic, but can be some difficult steps. I want to make sure you're good to go, all right? So you got this? Oh, I've got this, buddy. Yeah, we're going to make this happen. We're going to do some different techniques. We're going to have some fun with this blank canvas. It's going to change everything, so much of what you know and what you don't know about painting, all right? The nicest thing is that we love to make mistakes. We love to mess up, and especially with a lot of these landscapes and nature, you're allowed to do that. That is for sure. I definitely know what you're talking about. Yes, and that's what is so exciting about this painting, that you can mess up, you can make mistakes, and it's all good. We're just gonna practice, all right? We're gonna have some fun. All right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and grab maybe one of your larger brushes, smaller brushes. I typically like to use a flat brush, all right? This is where I kind of have some fun with our flat brushes, all right? So if you got a flat brush, I've got a few different ones right here. I've got angled brushes, flat brushes, all sorts of cool different brushes right here, but they're definitely flat. They're not the round kind of brushes. You want to get them flat, because what we want to do is we want to draw almost with these paint brushes. We're going to just use plain black acrylic paint. So try that out. All right, so Shaun, like, why are we using plain black acrylic paint? Well, acrylic paint is so user-friendly that we can like really just delve into this so quickly, and just like we can make mistakes, we can just mess up, we can have some fun with it. If we were doing oils, this would take a long time and it would take a long process of drying. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. So are you using big brushes, small brushes? What are you kind of like seeing what's best for these folks at home? So glad you asked. I want you at home to feel what's comfortable for you, all right? Whatever you like, whatever you think is gonna be good for you. I would say if you're just starting, go ahead and use a smaller size brush just to get a feel for it, and make sure it's flat. All right, so here we go. I'm excited to see what you got, buddy. Let's see it. So I've got my palette and I've got just plain black paint. You can see I've got some other colors on here I've used at different paintings, whatever. Use what you got. You can use a paper plate, whatever you got, but I've got plain black acrylic paint on here. So I've got my flat brush. I'm going to try to use kind of more of a medium to maybe, larger size brush just to see how it works. And we're going to start making some different trees on here. So check this out. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of black paint on my brush. There you go, side to side. And I'm going to make a tree maybe come right out here from my side. And all I'm going to do is kind of make a nice little line just kind of going up in a wave. Now it depends on your brush of what you got. You can see this wave is very choppy. There's not a lot of perfection to it. All right, so that's what's kind of cool is landscapes are not supposed to be perfect. All right, that's why you see a lot of artists do them because they can mess up and it's all good. So I'm just going to make my first nice little dark tree branch. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of make this a nice little swervy tree coming out. And you can see it took up a lot of that canvas. That's all right. You can map out whatever you want, feel whatever you want, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so do we use like a smaller brush as we start to like kind of extend out, or do we keep with the larger brush? It's a great question. You can use whatever is comfortable for you at home, all right? Whatever you like. That's the beauty of it. You get to use whatever you like. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going with this. I'm going to go ahead and make my tree trunk a little bit fatter as we go down here. We kind of come a little bit over here. So you can see there's an obvious tree trunk. And it thins out as we go up. All right, so that's the cool thing. Each one of these is different, but what you want to do is I would say switch to a smaller brush as we start to work on our tree branches. No, that's a great idea. I think that's, what's so cool is I've learned too is just really go when you get away from the tree trunk itself, your branches get thinner and thinner and thinner, and it's much easier to use a smaller brush. Is there any other tricks that we can use with our brushes while we're making these tiny little lines? The answer is yes, Shaun. We've definitely got a way of working with our brushes and making tiny little lines. What I want you to do is take your small brush, all right? I've got the small brush right here. You can see it's just a beautiful little brush. And I've got a napkin. And I love what I call this, it's called crunching our bristles. All right, so we're gonna take our brush. I'm gonna wrap my napkin just around my brush right there. Take a look, I've got it just wrapped up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of press down on my bristles. And what that did was it made it sharper. It made that brush a lot sharper. And so what I can do now is take that same brush and put some more black acrylic paint on there. Now check this out. All right, I've got my brush with my nice black acrylic paint. And look at this. I'm gonna make some branches, but look how tight and small they are. Look how precise we just got with our smaller brush and crunching our bristles. All right, you can just kind of just make your nice little bit of a tree right there. But look at that. I'm gonna bring this up close so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so look at this. We were able to crunch our bristles. We went from a pretty big brush making our tree branch here, but now look at, we can start making some branches. And the greatest news is, Shaun, is you can crunch your bristles as much as you want. You can do this at home. You can crunch these bristles as much as you want, put a little bit more paint on it, and you'll make precise lines. You'll make better lines than you ever have. All right? So I crunch my bristles, and I am making all these different random things happen with my tree. That is what's so cool about just starting off making a tree, making your branches. You start off big, but then you end up small. All right, yeah, hey, man, that makes perfect sense. That does totally make sense. So I see this kind of tree right here. I see artists, you know, and different people make these awesome trees, just, you know, I mean, like this, but there's some different ones they make too. How do you do those? All right, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. So we've got some of these trees that are like blossoms or maybe more like fall trees, and you've got this, and then eventually we'll add some leaves on there. But I know exactly what you mean. We're gonna add some different trees on this canvas here just to show you exactly how they make those trees. I'm gonna go ahead and take my flat brush. Remember that one I was just using at the very beginning? It's a little bit bigger. You know, it might be medium size, you know, whatever you got at home, but it's a flat brush. I'm using the edge. You can see it's like right there, that nice little line right there. And I'm not using like this. I'm doing this. That's like my drawing kind of thing right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some black paint on that brush. You tell me. I'm gonna bring this up close here, Shaun, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Is this what you're talking about, where they make like maybe like a line going like this, and you've got your nice little bit of tree? Again, I'm going to make the trunk a little bit thicker, and it comes to a point. All right, I know what you're talking about. I see what's going on here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I made that with my larger brush. I'm going to switch over to my smaller flat brush right here. And I'm going to come down from my top and very lightly with my plain black just go back and forth. And I'm going to make some little tree branches starting to pop off just very lightly with my brush. Look at that. Is this what you're talking about? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. A lot of times I like teach these painting events and we're trying to see it up close, but this is perfect. I'm so glad you're showing us this small technique, but it's so amazing how the impact really changes your painting. It's a really cool technique. No, I know exactly what you mean, man. It is like so cool. Like you see that like kind of cool branches just popping out there. I'm gonna switch over to my larger size brush and watch this. Okay, we started with our small, but look at this. I'm just gonna randomly make some tree branches just start to come right off here. I'm just very lightly touching the canvas. All right, I'm just using plain black acrylic paint, and as I start to come down, you can see that there's different things happening in this tree. There's like some places that are a little bit closer, some places that are a little bit, you know, further away, but as we come down, our branches tend to get heavily weighted and start expanding out. Look at this. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty dark silhouette, all right? If you want to, you can kind of like fine tune this thing up. All right, well, you have to tell them at home, how do they fine tune this thing up? All right, all you do is you take your small brush, okay? That flat brush, put a little bit more black paint on there. And to fine tune this thing up, what you want to do is you want to add some little tiny little sticks maybe popping out. Okay, like it just makes it look like a little bit more realistic. Some can go up, some can go a little bit down. But it looks like you've got some like kind of just little twigs or sticks just like a little bit bare, just coming right out of there. Very nice. See, little details. So tell me, man, what do you think? Is it like are these like helping you with these trees? Is this what you were looking at? Yes, this was a great tutorial because it showed you that you can make mistakes, Shaun. It shows you that you can mess up. it just shows you just that simple little technique on a simple step in our process of making these trees. But you definitely, it's one thing for sure, man, you got to practice it. All right, I hear you. I mean, you did a great job showing me right there, but you know what? It takes practice, and you know, everybody at home is going to be, you know, just, you know, taking their time with it. All right, I know you did this pretty quick, but don't worry, buddy. They are going to love it. They're learning the basics, and we're going to be going into more advanced steps, and I am so excited to do this painting with you. I appreciate everything that you showed all of us tonight. Way to go, buddy. Oh yeah, man, we have got this show stacked. I cannot wait to see how we have some fun with this thing. It is going to be fantastic. I can't wait for it. And man, keep painting, everybody. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in to Brushing Up with Shaun, and we will see you on the next show.